Snoopy cup today.
Ooh,
Okay.
good morning.
Hello, hello. And who's out there today?
I don't know. We're competing with Yoast this morning. I think our audience might be smaller. It's the
Yeah,
first
I was actually on. I did tune in for like a little bit, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if you can see on your end who is there.
I only watched Yoast for all of like 2 minutes.
I did. I just said good morning, hello, my favorite people, and I didn't say goodbye. I just kind of
You just kind of pieced out.
I pieced out. I like left tonight. I could have said, well, oh, by the way, I'm going live at 10:30, but I didn't. I should. I didn't want to. I didn't want him to lose. You know what?
You should have. Oh, good morning, peoples. How is
Hello,
everyone this morning?
the Mondu. Good
Yeah,
morning. Good morning.
good morning.
That's why I was on the wrong side. I was on the private chat and I didn't go to the comments to see. How is everybody this morning?
Yeah, so this week we're doing something a bit different. We are approaching a year of doing this show. And so we decided we're going to do a bit of a Q&A this morning. So I have some questions from Instagram, but if anyone else has any questions about pens or ink or paper or anything tangentially related to the fountain pen world, feel free to leave them in the chat and we will do our best to answer them.
Yep. And so, how are you doing this morning?
I am stressed. We leave for Empire tomorrow morning. And I am packing. So basically, as soon as this finishes, all of my mics, all of my lighting setup gets teared down and packed for Empire. But I'm also very excited for Empire. It's the first year of the show. We finally sort of have a ballroom layout and a class layout for the sessions. And I'm hosting an episode of Coffee Date live on Sunday morning.
No, cool.
With a really cool panel. And we've got some great questions that some people have already submitted. And I'm also doing a bit of a live Q&A at the end. So I'm very excited. Tom Otto, Tori from Stationary Universe, and then Aidan Burnell are all panel guests on Sunday morning. So it should be an absolutely fantastic time.
How are you? Looking at some of the questions that are coming in, we may have another limited attendance due to Pen Addict stream.
Yes. Tuesday is a bad day, but you and I have had awkward Fridays recently.
Yes.
And I leave for Empire.
Yes.
And then I get back. And then it's Colorado.
And then yeah, Colorado for me. So I and that's another stressful thing because I can't go to Empire this weekend because we're actually having company in because it's also a holiday weekend. So that's a little fun. And then I leave for Colorado. And then after I get back from Colorado, it is the Pelican Hub. And then you have Scriptus.
I do. And then it's just, we've got this very busy period of time. And so if we wanted to stream, it was Tuesday. And I figure people can watch it in the replay or people can watch it / listen to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I am now a quasi-organized creature. And two of the shows, I said this one goes up on Spotify. I don't know that this one goes up on Spotify yet. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Coffee Date and Desk Chatter both are up on Spotify. This one is in the process of getting approval for Spotify. I'm working on it.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad that you would rather be here with us, girls. That makes me feel good. Thank you so much.
Fun to hang out.
And then I didn't. How successful was the SD run? I don't.
You were trying to get a Snoopy from Esterbrook. Were you successful?
Well, that hasn't come out yet.
I know.
There's a little bit of delay, but I will get it. I mean, yes, I better get it. This is what I told him. I better get it.
Well, so I did a bit of snooping on the Esterbrook page about it.
Uh-huh.
I have to say, I don't know that I'm getting the pen, but they are releasing one of the pen cups,
Mm-hmm.
and I think one of those is coming home with me.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be either really expensive or a really awkward design for it not to come home with me.
Okay. Well, also, in talking with Shannon, well, yeah. So hopefully hopefully I will be purchasing a few items. But I think they're also going to have plenty of it.
All right. So how we've talked about how I am. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm, just uh it's been crazy. So I've been doing a lot, and then I need to learn to rest between, because then I like get stuck and I'm like, oh, I can't move, or I'm just in whatever. So I'm just adjusting to some stuff. And then but other than that, I get excited. I have things to look forward to, like Colorado. And since I'm the hub master here for my area in West Palm Beach, this is going to be, I'm trying to think of things to do and everything. And so trying to organize before I leave for Colorado.
Mhm.
So, and I got my shipment in of inks already. So they're sitting on my dining room table.
So what I've been hearing about the Pelican Hub this year is that only some of the hubs are getting inks. So my thing is, do I go and buy the ink at Empire? Because I think I'll be able to find it at Empire, but I don't think I'll be able to find it locally. Most Canadian stores right now are out of stock.
Hmm.
Is it a good enough ink that I need a bottle of it?
Let's put it like this. Golden Barrel was wonderful. The lapis one that we went,
Last year's.
yes, that was wonderful.
Yeah.
The rose quartz, not my favorite. This year, it's a nice orange.
Okay.
Okay, it's a nice orange. I mean, if you want to put shimmer in it, you actually can put shimmer in it, but it's not a shimmer ink if people are
No.
into shimmers. But actually, it's not a bad. I did swatch it. So it's really not a bad, they call it apricot. So it's really not, have you tried the Gravitas Monster? And if so, how did you like it? I am in love with mine, and it has become one of my favorite pens. I do not have a Gravitas Monster. I have the Coco one there, and and I love that one. So, as far as, but I haven't tried the Monster yet, so I can't answer that question. But I do like the Casado one that I have, the Gravitas
Yeah.
Casado, which is the big, I like, it's beautiful. Yes, Golden Lapis, and then you had Golden Barrel. So thank you so much.
I've still never tried Golden Lapis. Sorry, not Golden Lapis, Golden Barrel.
I love the Golden Barrel. It is one of the prettiest yellow inks that is legible.
Mhm.
I've used it several pens, well, especially my Banus, because Banus are the ones that I tend to put shimmers in ink. But yes, the Golden Bear, and you can't find it. I lucked out at a pen show last year in, I think it was, maybe it wasn't, no, maybe it was the Tri-State one that I went to last. I didn't go to this past year's one, the year before. And I actually got the bottle for $40, and which is when something you never used, unopened, unused. And so that was like, score, do you have any more, please? And yeah, so I was able to, and then I was able to get Missing Pen out of Germany had a few bottles left, and but it's very hard to find, not unless you go onto eBay and someone's selling it, and they're selling it at a price that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mm,
So I'm going back to the gravitas question because I didn't answer this one.
yeah.
Um, I have tried the Cusado pens because we have a local Cusado dealer in Canada. And I got to spend some time with CY at DC, but I have not spent any time with the gravitas other than holding one ever so briefly at I think DC. I think Drew had one hanging around because they're the US dealer of Gravitas pens. But they're cool. I just don't like them for the amount they cost.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And I was surprised that Ben Walsh wasn't at DC. He was supposed to be, I thought.
he was supposed to be, I thought too, and then he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people that I thought were supposed to be at DC that weren't at DC.
I know. And San Francisco was like maddening. It was so crowded. It was just unbelievable. Okay, so you know what? There's something to be said about the number 8 steel nibs. I have a few of them on my Leonardo that Leonardo does.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I'm in love with, I mean, they're wonderful nibs.
So I haven't tried a number 8 steel yet. I think I only have one pen that takes a number 8, and that's a Leonardo. But that was a hand-me-down from Stephen Brown, and that came with a gold nib. But that's the only number 8 pen I have.
I love big nibs, and I cannot lie. In fact, I got a Leonardo at the San Francisco Pen Show, and with the number 8, and then I had the nib modified by Shaq MD or Shaq.
Okay.
And he turned it into a flex nib. Oh my God, it's amazing. But yeah.
I love the weird stuff Shaq is doing.
Oh my God, his stuff is amazing. And and he's a full-time doctor. So
I know. Like he came and hung out at the Navaler booth for a little bit at DC. Like I came back from running an errand, and Mom was hanging out with this person that apparently was there to see me. And Mom had played with some really cool stuff, and then I got to play with some really cool stuff. And I had such a good time.
Yeah. He has a Pelican, not a Pelican. Well, he does it on Pelicans as well, but he has a 149 Mont Blanc that he did. And I'm like, oh man, I can't. I just, it's like how I love weird nibs.
Yeah.
I do like I have a pen sloth nib that was given to me by Jim Crawford, and it's lovely. I love writing.
Oh, which style?
The Kasaki, the double stacked Kasaki.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. I put it on a Skazi pen, and because it's which I really like. But yeah, fun. It's like I like having fun with all nibs, and so Peter's making not fun of me a little bit, because now I'm even doing some fine nibs, but I'm doing fine nibs for a reason. Because I like to do Zentangles, and you can't really, not unless you're going to do it on a big sheet of paper, and use a big broad nib. But I do really like stuff. Yes, I'm reading in the chat, and he like the yellowish orange ink from J.O. I like that one too. That's pretty.
I only have a handful of J.R. inks. I feel like I always overlook them.
Yeah, no, J.O. has, what it's like, even like the Emerald de Chivard, which everybody, for years has been talking about. I do use it. They're not heavily shimmering inks, so it just gives a nice little sparkle. If you like if you do like to use some shimmer, there's nothing wrong with shimmer, but you just got to make sure that you clean out your pen more often.
No, I think this is the only full bottle I have.
That one there. It's a pretty color.
It is a pretty color.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so you did get a couple of questions.
I did get a couple questions. So this is one for both of us. What are you looking forward to the most between now and the end of the year, or even in autumn, in the pen/art world that is coming up?
I just, in the pen world, what's coming up is probably some, like, I'm going to be switching around, maybe doing some autumn inks, autumn pens, which means I got to clean out some pens for me to re-ink some pens. So yeah, and go through the. I'm a creature of habit. I think sometimes when it comes to certain colors of inks that I like and don't like, so I think I'm going to do a big de-stash too.
Cool.
Trying to convince Peter to let me get rid of some inks, and he's like, no, and I'm like, well, stop buying inks. Where am I going to put them all? I mean, so I think I'm gonna, because I noticed I've had a shift of even some of the color pens that I've purchased. I'm waiting I ordered one from Selva, and hopefully it'll be in soon, and that's gonna be a nice, I think, fallish pen. So I'm hoping it's supposed to come in very soon. So I'm and so I think I'm gonna do a whole variety of that. And I really need to start doing more videos on stuff that I've currently inked. I did, which is kind of a nice fallish pen, thinking of which, because it's right here, Abigail Markoff.
Yeah.
And I purchased her relic pen at the Orlando Pen Show. And the colors on this are just really, really pretty. And I love her cap. It's sterling over copper. So it is like really cool. And look at the section on this too.
It was crazy to watch her make that pen.
Yeah. And this is a nice fall pen. So I'm very happy with it. And she had at the Orlando Pen Show, they had a maker's pen awards, and those pens went up for auction to raise money for coral relief. And so I ended up getting, and I know I'm going off on a tangent or whatever, but we're kind of talking about fall. But I ended up getting her maker pen that was up for auction. And the coolest thing about it is when you turn it upside down and you're writing, the fish bubbles, which are all CZs going in the pen, like that. So I thought that was really cool. But work is amazing.
It is amazing. I could not get over it when she told me that they were embedded Swarovski crystals.
Yeah, and there's in the section.
They're in the section too?
There's a few in the section. Can you see it right there?
Yes, there are.
In the section too. And then, of course, I had to put Kirk's show nib on there, which is because we were like the fountain from that hotel, so it's hard to see anyway because of light. But yeah, I put his Kirk's show ink and nib in there. But yeah, I think that's what I'm now. What about yourself? What are you hoping for?
I like seeing all the Christmas releases and holiday releases. I have Goldspot's holiday release from last year, if we want to call it a holiday release, which was Hot Toddy, which was their collab with Benu, which I think they still have a couple of. They were talking about it recently. Let's see. And then I have the US exclusive Hanukkah Benu they did a couple years ago, purely because it glows in the dark.
Right.
So I have Hanukkah oil because I liked that it was blue and sparkly and glowed in the dark. And why else do you buy a pen unless it brings you joy? And for me, it did, because the entire pen glows in the dark. And I know there are other Benus that glow. I just really liked it. And so I always enjoy seeing the holiday releases.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I like the Abigail Markoff pens.
Yeah.
They tell a story, and I like purchasing pens that I've been collecting, and my collection has grown so much, but now I can be very picky. So pens that tell a story or a meaning behind the pen.
Yeah. Actually, I can grab the pen. It's right here. So this is last year's Gold Spot exclusive,
Very pretty.
which
Oh, and I love, oh, did you eyedropper it?
I did eyedropper it. Would I ever eyedropper a Benu Euphoria again? No, this has been eyedroppered since last October. We're almost there.
Well,
But
the
it's,
thing is, you could have eyedropped it halfway.
yeah, I didn't think of that at the time. And so instead, we've got this insanity where the whole pen got eyedroppered. I've got a video on that on the channel. Because I also did not publish my video on the pen until I was sure that it didn't leak. So I eyedroppered it, and then it hung around for like 3 weeks on my desk. Benu, Gold Spot still has 5 in stock.
Yeah, that's
So
a pretty pen.
if you're after this pen, I will drop a link in the chat. Whereas the next pen I'm going to show is not around anymore. You can find it on the secondhand market. I ended up buying the display model from Luxury Brands of America. And this is it.
It's very pretty.
It is very pretty. And I like the gold and the silver and that it glows in the dark.
It's not, see, for me, I like the Euphoria models, and I did have that pen, and my girlfriend liked it so much that I gifted it to her.
And it's just got a blue sparkly grip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of went back and forth for a while on like how much do I like this pen, and then I saw it in person at Chicago. And if you've seen the Luxury Brands table at pen shows, like none of the pens are labeled. And I was having a conversation with Bryce, and I looked down and I saw it and I went, "Oh, that's the Hanukkah pen." And he went, "Yes, it is." And I went, "Great. I would like to take it home with me."
Yeah.
And it was
It's a beautiful pen, and it does, and I know they used oil in the resin.
Yeah, because it's a talisman, so it contains oil. Like it's a super cool pen. How do you feel about ink vent / color vent calendars, Claire?
Okay, well, for the most part, I've gotten a couple of them. I'm not buying another one this year because I end up giving a lot of the inks away. And okay, unpackaging those little ink bottles are a pain in my ass. I'm sorry, they really are. They don't make it easy, and I'm like, no. And I get it. You need to package them so they don't leak.
Yeah.
So I get that part, but I wish there was an easier way other than me using be very careful with my switchblade. But for the most part, it's a fun thing, and you get to see what's coming out in the inks and everything. But
Yeah.
I end up I end up giving a lot of them away because there's only a few that in the whole thing that I really like.
Yeah. I could never get one because the diamond little lids are impossible for me to open. And then when Colorverse released theirs last year, I almost bought one, but the price held me back. And that's my issue again this year, is that it's, I think, almost $300 Canadian.
I know it's ridiculous and then you get these little tiny bottles that you have to put in if you want, you can't fill a pen.
Yeah, so in the Colorverse one, at least, I think they're the 15 ml bottles. And so that's a little bit better than the diamond bottles.
Yeah, 300 Canadian is probably roughly about what, $180 US or something?
Yeah, I think they're 185 US, so they're about 300 Canadian.
Yep.
And that assumes you can find somewhere in Canada that has them, and that you're not importing them from the States, because if you have to import them from the States, they're even more. And so I just decided against it this year. And there are a couple Canadians that make their own Colorverse, or not Colorverse, their own advent calendars for Inkvent. And I am never organized enough to buy theirs. You have to pre-order theirs in, I want to say pre-orders for like March. so that they have time to create them. I wasn't thinking about Christmas in March.
No, I'm definitely not thinking about Christmas in March. I mean,
So
now this is like October and I'm still not thinking about Christmas.
exactly. Like I will start thinking about Christmas sometime in November. And yeah, in December, I'm probably gonna be a little bit sad that I don't have one. At the same time, like, we're talking about doing the Bon Maman advent calendar,
What is
because
that?
it's the little French jam company does a jam jar advent calendar where it's a different flavor of jam every day.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Because
and then
jam, you can get a little knife in. No, but it really is cool to do something different.
yeah, like, we were never a chocolate advent calendar household growing up. I had Lego advent calendars for a very long time, and grandma and grandpa in their 80s finally got chocolate advent calendars, and grandma now does a puzzle advent calendar. And so this year we're talking about doing a little jam jar advent calendar, and it'll still be a great time even if it's not an ink advent calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Mondo, when is your birthday? He says he usually doesn't think about Christmas until after his birthday, or he or she. And I'm sorry,
Yeah.
because of the names, I don't know your first name, and
Yeah.
so I have to apologize for that.
December 6th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mine's November 29th, so we're both Sagittarians.
So I'm November 3rd, and so it's always after my birthday I feel like I can start listening to Christmas music. And so that's when it normally starts.
Yeah.
How
So
does a puzzle advent calendar work? We got Costco sold one at one point where every little drawer was like a 20-piece puzzle for the month. So every day you open up a new puzzle.
oh, that's cool.
And so she has like 24 puzzles, and mom and I some years randomly rearrange what puzzles in which compartment, and some years we don't. It depends on what we feel like doing, but she has a great time with it,
Yeah.
and that's all that matters.
William, I do not have any vintage Omas from the 50s or 60s or even before that. Now I don't even think Peter does, but no, I have more of the more modern day ones.
I think Marina does.
Yeah.
I think Marina was talking about it 2 Desk Chatter episodes ago.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't have any vintage ones. I did get at the Orlando Pen Show, which is not an OMAS. It's the Amano Simone Club, but they found some of the Lambros, the LB5 material.
Okay.
So yeah, so that one is like, which is, I have it here in which I think is absolutely gorgeous. And for, LB5, Lambros did something way back when with this material for Sailor, I guess, and everything. And he passed away. So his pens now, the markup on, not the market now, his pens are just so expensive with the same material. I think some of those pens are like 5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first time it was a Stephen Brown video, the first time I was introduced to an LB5 pen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So cool. I've never seen one in person, and I don't know that I ever will. They
St.
are
John
so cool.
had one at the pen show.
At DC?
DC, I think, and in San Fran.
Mm.
And so I did get to see it, but it's beautiful. And I know somebody, a friend of mine, Barry, was selling his, and he did pretty well. He sold them. I said, do you know what I don't know if I showed this to you or not. I got the drill log when I was in San Francisco.
You did not show it to me.
Okay, so I love this thing better than Kakamori nibs.
Ooh.
It does not give me any problems. I got it in 0.8, which is perfect for swatching or, doing my, writing something really
Yeah.
quick. What I did find, because, okay, so I had to put a piece of, this is like what kids would put on pencils or whatever, because it's a little
Mhm.
thick for me. But that's the drill lug, and it cleans so easy. So, and the cap goes on the back. But because of the thinness of this, I put this rubber pencil pen thing on, and it's more comfortable. Plus, it matches the pen. You would think it went with it.
It does match the pen quite nicely.
Yeah, and it's much more comfortable for me to write with now. But it writes unbelievable, and there's no like blobbing, and it cleans off so easily. So my swatching, or when I swatch inks and I write on my cards and everything, it goes by so much quicker. But yeah, so this is just something else I had on my desk to show you because I think it's cool. Their price is a little pricey, but it's 5 of us bought them in San Francisco. Because we were like, they let us for 2 days. We were playing with them and testing them, and I'm like, no, do I really want? No, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going. And then I ended up doing it. Yeah. And the thing is, their table was right behind where we were.
Which is always so dangerous. I haven't looked too hard at the Empire layout because our printer isn't working, so I can't print the map anyways, like I normally would, and put it in my travelers. So I just haven't studied it too hard. But at a normal pen show, you're back to back with people, and so I've made the assumption like, oh, there are people back to back with me because I know like where the tables are in the middle for the section I'm at. But I don't know who I'm back to back with. But depending on who I'm back to back with, like it can become dangerous with visiting with people.
It is very dangerous. I didn't think, like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to work a table because I won't have time to shop. But even the table you're at, and Selva brings one of a kind pens, or, special edition pens that he has brought with him. And then you're looking at it, and then there are like maybe 1 or 2 of them that he made just for the show.
Yeah.
And you're looking at them and looking at them, and I'm like, no, yes, no, yes, because then it ended up being yes. So, but yeah, so you don't think you're going to shop, but you do. But it was so crazy because I wanted to go and I couldn't leave the table when the show opened because we were so swamped. And I really wanted to go over to Kobe and get their show ink. And by the time I could get over there, 2 hours after they opened, they were sold out.
That's crazy.
It was so crazy. So crazy. And anyway, Jam Advent Calendar is awesome. Limited edition flavors. Lady C?
Thank you for being a member.
Yeah.
What I like about them is that, or what I like about the idea of one is that we get to try a whole bunch of different jam flavors that maybe we wouldn't consider.
Yeah.
We are very much creatures of habit in this household when it comes to jam. And other than the fact that like there was a little bit of experimenting at the end of the season because we had about Mom says we had about 30. I think we had maybe 15 choke cherries that then went into a batch of raspberry jam. That was only 3 pints of raspberries. So it was already a very tiny batch of jam. That is about as much experimenting as we do with jam flavors. So I'm always interested to try other flavors of jam because you never know when you'll find something you actually really like.
Yeah, that it does, because I'm a creature of habit when it comes to jam. I like apricot, peach. I kind of stay with those, but I do like to try others. Make fig jam and stuff like. Well, fig is good for brie. bakery and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
We are strawberry, raspberry, apricot people in this house.
Yeah. If I can't have apricot, I go to strawberry. Raspberry, Peter likes raspberry. I'm not big.
I like homemade raspberry because what I do is I run it through a sieve and I get rid of all the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I add back in like a tablespoon of the seeds. So it doesn't have a whole lot of seeds in it, but it still has a little bit of seeds in it.
Right.
Oh, apparently they sell out fast. Normally our Costco has them. So I'm hoping our Costco has them this year. If not, we will have to figure out something different for advent calendars.
Well, you know what though? I mean, you should start going to Costco now because they got Christmas stuff out already.
I think the plan is to hit Costco on our way back from Empire.
Oh, you're driving?
No, not really, but like we might have to because some of the airports in the States are already closed for lack of air traffic controllers.
Oh, they're out on. Oh shit.
Because they're not getting paid. They're not getting paid, so they're not going to work. And so we're watching things very closely.
Yeah, I better start watching things closely myself since I'm gonna, hopefully then I still get to Colorado next week.
Yeah, there are some airports in California that are already closed.
Oh, lovely. That's gonna screw up air traffic control.
And so we're hoping we're leaving for Empire on a flight that leaves Pearson on Thursday morning. And if not, we will be in the car driving.
Yeah, how far of a drive is that? Mm.
About the same as Chicago. So it's not awful.
Right.
But do we really want to drive? Not really.
No, I've driven from Boston to, Toronto and Montreal, and I've done that a few times, but I just rather fly. I said to Peter, I said, I can't do long drives anymore. I really can't. I'm in too much pain and I do all the driving. So sitting, even going, I went to Miami over the weekend, and Miami's where I went was only 90 miles. And I'm getting out of the car like this after an hour and a half. And I said, this is terrible. But I went, in all fairness, I was down in Miami twice this week. The first time I went, I took the train, which is much better. Versus driving. Yeah, I even going to Orlando, and then we went Orlando, Tampa, and then back here. And, 2 hours, 3 hour drive, that's the most I can probably tolerate these days. And it's not because I'm getting old. It's just because I just rather just fly if I can.
No, like we stop, we take breaks. And so it is doable, but we'd rather not.
No, because then I go through listening to books on tape, to putting on music, and then putting on the AC really cold to hit my face so I don't get tired, which is not good too. So it's like, anyway. So yeah, flying is much preferred for me.
Yep. Would you like the next question?
Yes, please.
So originally this was a question directed at me, but because you're going to Colorado, I'm going to direct it at you as well. What are you most looking forward to at your next pen show?
Well, since I've never been to Colorado, I've never been to the state, so I'm very excited about going, and I'm also excited and I know it's like probably a smaller show, but sometimes at the smaller shows you'll find unusual things. So I'm always on the hunt for something, whether it be, an ink you can't find, or a pen that all of a sudden just appears and that you've been looking for. So that is what I am most excited about, because I've never been to the show before. And plus I'm also going to be at Kirk's table, so I always like helping out Kirk and Crystal because it's fun. We have a good time.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to help them. I'm going to go to hell. Since I'm going, I might as well put me to work.
Since I'm going to be there anyways.
Since I'm going to be, yeah. And because it's his home show, um, I think it's going to be kind of cool too. So I'm looking forward to visiting with some friends. We're going to go to Clarissa from Snowy Studio, and I'm going to see my friend Nusha for Ferocious and Pretty Pens.
Okay.
And so we're going to have a good time. And then Wendy, I'm going to see Wendy as well.
So much fun.
Yeah. So we're going to just, go up to Boulder. There's a stationery shop in Boulder that they like. So we're going to go check that out. And so it'll be kind of fun. But that's what I always go to shows with on the hunt for something. I am looking for a specific Mont Blanc pen that it's going to take a while to find. So I want the Egyptomania Due, the one with the hieroglyphics with the silver on the body of the pen.
Mm.
So I'm on the hunt for that one now. It'll take time. So what about yourself when you go to Empire? Because
I'm excited to see everyone. So I thought DC was the last time I was going to see everyone until probably Chicago. And so there were many long, teary goodbyes with people. Like Mom and I started the process of getting out the door at DC an hour and a half before we actually got out the door at DC. Because I didn't think I was going to see people again until the spring, and people didn't think they were going to see me again until the spring, and it's always sad. And then, suddenly I'm going to Empire, so I'm excited to see people again. Also, Hemingway and I are finally getting to meet in person, and that's super fun.
Yeah, I met him last year in DC in person.
Yeah, so he didn't come to DC this year, but he's coming to Empire. And so I'm excited to meet him in person. And then I'm excited to host Coffee Date live on Sunday. I think it should be a great time. And I'm really excited for the panel of guests that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it should be a fantastic time.
I'm happy because I think that's great. Orlando was the last pen show for Peter. And he like even DC, because we saw a lot more people. So some of our friends from California, Peter was not seeing now until next year. So that was sad. Even though we talked to them via FaceTime all the time, it's just not the same thing.
It doesn't matter. So somebody said to me on the way out of DC after these very long, teary goodbyes, somebody went, the problem is we're a big family. We're all at the family reunion. And this isn't even the worst of it, because most of them are seeing each other in a couple weeks at San Francisco.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Like there were people who came to see me at noon and went, "We're leaving. Bye." And we're still there when Mom and I were heading out the door at 4:00.
Mm-hmm.
Doing teary goodbyes. Like, it is such a weird and yet lovely community. And I totally bawled in the lobby of that hotel.
Yeah.
Saying goodbye to people.
Oh yeah.
I was not going to see people until the spring.
Like Colorado will be officially my last pen show for the season. But I am going to go to Fountain Pen Hospital for their Christmas event to help there. So but it is kind of sad. It's almost like, okay, now what? Like what am I going to do next? And so now I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to Philly or not. Because because I know I'm definitely going to California for February. And Philly's going to be cold, but Peter's not going to go to Philly, but I still may go.
Like there's this break in the pen show calendar for North America that starts, I think it's after Ohio. Like we're off until Philly. There are international shows, but there aren't any other North American shows. And so for the first time all year, you have these sort of 2.5 months of nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's because we so love to see our pen friends. And whether they're vendors, whether they're collectors, with whatever. And the best part, after the show is over for the day, is just getting together in the lobby or wherever. And that's my biggest thing, is like we need a bigger meeting place with more table. Like the hotel would make much more money if they kept the bar open later too.
That's actually my fear about Empire, is I don't know where we're all going to hang out. I'm really hopeful that they've booked. There's 46 meeting rooms. I'm really hopeful that they've booked one of the classrooms into spaces that we're using during the day into the evening, so that people have a space to hang out. But I am afraid that they haven't. Because if so, based on the hotel layout, the only place we can hang out is the hotel bar. And I think it's going to get very crowded very quickly with pen people.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot of normal people staying at the hotel that aren't going to be.
New York City is crazy,
It
is. I remember staying at that hotel, and you go in and it's just a mad scene of people. I mean, it's mobbed. And so I've stayed at the Hilton before. I used to go to New York quite often when I lived in Boston because it was just easy. I mean, one morning I woke up and Peter's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to New York for the day." I went to Logan Airport with my friends, and we boarded a flight, and we came back that night. It was just the shuttle.
Yeah.
And you could do it. It's like a 20-minute plane ride, and it was not that expensive. And my friends and I would go. We were looking for outfits to go to a wedding, and everybody's like, "Hey, you want to go? Let's go to New York and go shopping for the day, right?" And then we said, "We're not doing that again." It was just, I've done that once, okay, just once. And I said, no, I said, if we're going to go to New York, we at least got to spend the night. And then, no, we got to spend the weekend. Let's go in the car. Let's go, girl. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Hotel bars, I agree,
Yeah.
David. Hotel bars are so noisy and you can't hear what anybody says.
So that is, I would say that's one of my fears. So it's Amazon Prime Day. And so I am currently shopping for a new set of microphones. Thank you, YouTube members who have made that possible for me to purchase a set of mics number 3, which have what they are claiming is AI noise cancellation that will only pick up the voices of the people talking directly into the mics and remove the background noise. We'll see how true that is, because my current set of mics will not work at Empire.
Which ones did you get? Which brand did you get?
So I for a couple of years have been in, I would call, a committed relationship with Hollyland, which are these. I have a pair of M2s. I have a pair of C1s.
Oh, the Rogue M2?
No.
Rode, whatever they are called. Rogue.
These are the Lark M2s.
Oh, okay. Oh, with that brand. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the Hollyland mics. They're great. They're what I film everything on. The downside of these is that they don't have enough noise cancellation for a hotel inn.
Yeah.
Or a hotel bar.
Yeah, I use the Rode.
Okay.
He's here, but it's so weird because I have these little ones, and I'm still trying to get used to them. And you have to hook up now with the new phone, because I got the new iPhone.
Oh.
So now I got to test them again and set up everything all over again.
No, what I like about these is that they are pretty much the size of a quarter.
And it's do you have it clipped on to you,
It's a magnet.
I had to purchase the magnet separate.
Oh no, these ones come with magnets. They come with clips, and they come with a little magnetic neck strap, so you can hang them down your shirt.
Ooh, I like that.
I love them.
You'll
What
have to send me the link.
I
when we're
will.
done.
So I really liked them, and then Hemingway asked what I was using, and now Hemingway uses them too when he's filming pen show videos. But they're great because they're tiny. What they're not great at is filtering out really loud noise in events. So I need a better solution for Empire. So a new set of mics will be purchased this afternoon.
Not unless you go like this and, like come up with a, like, mic.
Which is a possibility, is just getting everyone to hold the mics, but I find people make a lot of hand gestures. That was a big issue at DC, is that there are lots of hand gestures in episodes. And so if people are holding a mic, suddenly the sound changes a whole bunch as they make hand gestures.
Well, if you're sitting, well, see, no, that's not going to work when you're standing. But I'm just like, if you know how like when you did 20 questions and we sat in the corner there?
I can't find a corner in the hotel, Claire.
Maybe a classroom that's empty for a few hours.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens.
No, but like being Greek, Italian, or whatever, I try very hard to sometimes not use my hands so much, right?
Yeah.
But we all do.
We all do. Yeah.
Yeah, so that I'm holding my cup of coffee. Yeah, people aren't good at holding mics.
No. I have to say the best people at doing it were, I think, Mike Madison and Ian Schoen, who did their 20 questions revisited together. Whoever was controlling the mic, I think it was Ian, or maybe it was Mike, one of them did a great job there. 90% of the time, though, if somebody is holding a microphone, they're waving around the hand that's holding the microphone, and sound is all over the place.
Yeah, well, I mean, like even if you brought portable stands with you, which is probably in more equipment to take, and the mic went on a portable stand, it's still not conducive for that.
No, and I no
Oh
longer.
yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe the gym exercise room, because no one really exercises.
Yeah, honestly, no one. There's a handful of people I know that work out at a pen show, but honestly, after 9 hours of standing on my feet, I'm not going to a gym.
Oh no,
I'm sorry.
okay, we have a gym here that I've been down to the gym only a handful of times since I've lived here, which will be 5 years. And I have a free gym I could go use, but
yeah, like Bryce and Mark both run every morning. We're at a pen show.
Yeah,
but other than that, there are maybe a handful of other people I know that work out. Like, I'm sorry, I'm standing at heels all day. I'm not.
No.
And walking a conference floor, I'm not going on a run.
Mm-mm.
Not that I'm allowed to run on my leg, but I'm not. Even if I was allowed to run, there's no desire to run after being at a pen show.
Well, like I wear my Apple Watch, by the way, which has a Snoopy on it. It's Snoopy. So I wear my Apple Watch, and by standing and walking around the floor show all day long, I get enough steps in for the day.
Exactly. For the two of them and a couple other people I know, no, they tend to be in the hotel gym at like 6 a.m. in the morning. Or going on a run, though both of them are currently training for marathons, so that probably has something to do with it. But at a pen show, like, I'm averaging between 100,000 and 10,000 and 15,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
I don't need to be going to a gym. I'm doing that in heels. I don't need to be working out more.
Yeah, I can't wear heels, so God bless you that you do wear heels to a pen show, but I'm in sneakers all day long.
Well, so I've packed more pairs of shoes than the days we are in New York. Because with my leg, I change shoes all the time, and I actually find that a little bit of a heel with my leg is better than being flat most of the time.
Yeah, well, my sneakers are like this, so
Yeah, so I have 2.
Yeah.
I would also say a great deal of practice has gone into me being able to run around pen shows in heels.
Yes.
And they're practical heels. They're not stiletto heels. They are blocky heels.
Wedges.
Well, not wedges. Like, they've still got a cutout in the middle. But
Yeah. But
they're-
at least but I look at some women and they got stilettos on and I'm like, God bless you. I just can't.
no.
No.
Like,
Pen show where when like we're it's coffee, pens, and whatever else. But we're talking about what do you wear to a pen show? You need to
like,
be comfortable.
you need to be comfortable. So I have packed, I don't know where I got them, but they're super cute. I have packed a pair of heeled loafers.
Yeah.
That are black. But they're like actual, like the toe box looks like a loafer, except they've got a 2-inch heel on the back of them.
Uh-huh.
Where did I get them? No idea. Found them in my closet. Actually, I found them in the back closet in the shoe rack and went, where did these come from? And then pulled them out and realized they were my size. And at some point I had purchased them. But every show I end up taking at least 4, but normally 6 pairs of shoes. Because I will change my shoes anywhere from 3 to 5 times a day.
Peter's on. He recommends clothes with many pockets for pens and inks. Yes, that is true. Peter actually has his pants custom made with very deep pockets.
Ooh.
That way, so and you can't really see what's in his pocket, but they're deep enough that he can put the rickshaw Fillmore bag in his pockets. That's how deep they go.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Okay, so yeah.
I have, women's clothing sucks. I have a single dress that has pockets, which I love. I've packed again for Empire. The issue is, or what I think the issue with it is that I filmed 12 episodes wearing that dress at DC. And so I don't think I can wear that dress again to film interviews at Empire because I just wore it at DC.
Oh, you know what though? It could be your uniform, so why not?
That could be my uniform.
Did you ever watch the cooking shows, right? And they go the next day and they're still wearing the same outfits that they did baked in the day before. That always gets me. That always cracks me up. But I also have to be very careful. And the one thing at the pen shows is that they put tablecloths on, right? On the tablecloths drape on the floor. And you have to be very careful. And one person at one of the pen shows put some netting on top of the tablecloth, and the netting was pulled on the floor. And my Adidas sneakers have like these little grooves in them. And I went flying, so literally flying, and I went over and I fell back onto the table across. I mean, I really went down hard. Luckily, and thank God, that other table was not set up yet, because their stuff would have gone flying. They're putting ice and patches on my back at the pen show. And there was, thank God for Rich and for Jason coming over to my rescue, except for the fact later on in the day, Peter comes up because he wasn't in the room when we were setting up. And I think it was Rich from River City said, "Hey, how's Claire doing?" And Peter's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, I forgot to say, don't say anything to Peter because he's going to yell at me. He says, not yell, but he'd be more concerned, but he'd also say, "You're never careful." So yeah. So you have to look down at a pen show. It's very important. You got people with walkers, you got people with crutches, you got people with scooters.
So that's my thing, is that I would almost call it annoying, because when I am with a brand, I will go okay, you have to tuck the tablecloth underneath the table, and we tuck it underneath the legs so that it
Yes.
can't get caught.
Yeah.
Because I have almost wiped out so many times at a pen show with the tablecloth dragging on the floor
Yeah.
that I just don't allow it to happen with booths that I work anymore.
Well, that's the same thing with like any of the booths. I'm tucking and tucking and tucking everything in because the last thing I need is to trip and fall and like break something or whatever. So yeah, you don't want that to happen. But even if there's people there with strollers, with walkers, with can't anything.
Yeah.
When you're walking at a pen show, even though you're up looking around like this, also make sure you look really around. Poor Peter, I tripped one time over Peter's walker. So, because he'll take his walker into the pen show because after walking so much, something starts to bother him. And he's got his own seat with him because it's one of those seated ones.
Yep.
And I was going around him, but didn't look down. And the wheel was turned the wrong way. And
I've done that with Grandma's walker.
Yeah, see, you just got to be careful.
I've also kicked it so hard I broke a toenail. But
oh no. Yeah, I mean, it keeps keep it taut so it makes it look good. I agree. Yeah. Tuck everything in and yeah, and then some people put their tables on risers, like they have risers for the table, which will help lift up the tablecloth. Yeah.
Honestly, I much prefer booths that have their tables up on risers. I don't know about you.
I do too, because it's much more comfortable that way. You're not leaning over the table.
Yeah. I wish so many booths put their tables up on risers. So many brands put their tables up on risers because otherwise you're spending all weekend bending over. Whereas you can bring everything up and it's fine.
It's much more comfortable, even with people that because we have pens that people can write with.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of like hunched over trying to write. So if it is a little bit raised, it's a little bit easier to even test the pens out. So I think that's pretty good. This is a very hunched over hobby. Yes, it is. So because whether you're writing at your desk or whatever, you're kind of like always like this. So I have to learn when I'm sitting sometimes to sit straight up. Good morning. Somebody is running. So what else? Was there any other questions that you had?
There is one more question. If you send out holiday/Christmas/New Year cards, where do you write the message in them? What pens do you use and what ink do you use?
Well, I like using holiday pens. Like I have a few of the Banu Christmas ones. So I always kind of like writing in with a red ink, like a shimmer ink. I have the bears, and I do use them at Christmas time. So, and usually, I'll find a card that has a nice message, but I always put it inside, like dear so and so, and wishing you like a little personal message, even though it has very nice, whatever. On the outside of the envelope, on addressing them, I will use something that won't, like a permanent ballpoint or rollerball, so it won't get damaged on the outside. And yes, if I'm in a creative mood, I will even do a wax seal stamp.
You're so much more extra than I am when it comes to cards. I hand paint almost all of her Christmas cards, and I have for a couple years. I actually need to get started on Christmas cards. I've got a table at the bazaar. And so I need to actually get started, but I think I've got some cards left over from last year, and so I don't need to make that many this year. I use a double broad inked up with Ferris wheel press plated gold tresses. I would not use that if I didn't know the cards I was using. I would use an extra fine or a fine so that you don't end up with a whole bunch of feathering. That being said, I know the card blanks I use to make cards.
Mm-hmm.
I tested them for the past couple of years. They work fairly well with fountain pens. And so I'm comfortable using them with a double broad. And then mom uses the same card blanks for any of the Christmas cards she sends out, and she uses them with a stub nib.
I use a broad on my Banus.
Okay.
And I, will use a shimmer ink, but I have to make sure everything's dry and nice before I do that, before I seal them. But most part, I test them out on cardstock before I decide. But yeah, so holiday, but we'll see how it goes this year.
Yeah, so Canada Post is back on strike, so I don't know that I'm sending out cards this year.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Again, they're on strike.
So it's complicated. So last December, when they went on strike, they were ordered back to work by the federal government, which meant they've sort of technically been on strike this entire time. The government just ordered them to continue to do their jobs. And then in 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, some point, end of September-ish, the federal government told them to stop door-to-door delivery, on top of being told a couple months ago to close a bunch of rural post offices. And so Canada Post workers walked off the job. So we have no mail.
Oh, lovely.
So it's fine. It's fun. We're surviving.
But you still can get stuff from DHL and FedEx.
So, yeah, DHL, FedEx, UPS,
Mm-hmm.
and what's their names? Amazon.
Oh, thank God for Amazon.
Yeah, thank God for Amazon.
Now, question.
Yes.
If I sent you something via Amazon, do you still have to pay getting it?
It depends. So sometimes it gives you the option to cover duties when you purchase in the States and send to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jeffrey sent me something a while ago via Amazon, and it gave him the option to pay. The issue is when you send US Amazon to Canada, it comes via Canada Post.
That sucks.
It does. How do you stop door-to-door delivery? So PO boxes. Everything would then have to come to PO boxes, except there are a lot of brands that refuse to ship to PO boxes for a multitude of reasons. So it becomes complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost less of an issue in rural areas because lots of rural areas, their PO boxes are in their post offices. And so you can ship to a PO box, but really you're shipping to a post office, and that sort of gets you around the don't ship to a PO box rule with brands or companies that won't ship to a PO box. The issue becomes in cities where you now need PO boxes for every neighborhood on the end of their street, and that becomes complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how this plays out. I have a Canada Post small business account because I ship just enough to qualify for one, and so I do get the every other day or twice a week email updates. So far, they haven't been very positive, but
And a poor lady C bought a pen from Doug, and she's going to get it.
Oh, yeah.
I love Doug. He's such a great guy.
I've never met him.
I haven't met him in person, but we chat via, in fact, I think Zoom tonight. I belong to the Calgary Pen Club.
Of
I love
course
it.
you do.
Yeah, why not? It's fun. It's fun. And yeah, so.
All right, let me see if I can find a picture of what I'm trying to explain badly.
Okay. In the meantime, if anybody else has pen, paper, journaling, inks, questions, please put them in the chat. Doug just, oh yeah, we actually bought a few vintage Parkers. Peter did from Doug.
All right. I'm going to share my screen because now I know how to do that after earlier this week. Share screen. Share screen. Window. All right. This is what we're talking about. These lovely mailboxes.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is they don't exist currently in most places. So now they have to build them and find locations to put them so that, people can get mail again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping like maybe we settle before that so that, I can get mail before honestly, I don't know. Honestly, PO boxes, as somebody said, PO boxes don't work well for packages. No, they really don't.
Yeah.
And lots of companies don't ship to PO boxes.
I'm not sure. Someone just asked about Birmingham Pen Company Inc. So they say for vintage set.
I wouldn't.
No, I'm not sure, and so I agree with Alex that I wouldn't either. I love Birmingham inks, but I think especially with some of them, like their Sheeny inks are just so like I find Tesla coil very sticky,
Yes.
so I would be very careful. I
They're
would,
also too, I don't know if you've experienced this, they're too inconsistent batch to batch.
okay, so I ordered an ink from them. And then like a week later, I got an email that they were sending me a revised bottle. I can keep the other bottle because something in their batching, whatever. And uh, both colors ended up being nice, so
Yeah.
which is fine. But I would just use like Waterman. You want to make sure that you use an ink that doesn't have high. It's a pH.
Yeah.
Just like yeah, it's high pH in the inks. I mean, like
Yeah.
even some of Roshizuku, like when you look at some of Pilot or Roshizuku inks, I wouldn't use those in vintage pens either.
No. I was always told Waterman or the Mont Blanc everyday inks.
Yeah, do not use Mont Blanc permanent inks.
No, don't use Mont Blanc permanent inks, but the other Mont Blanc everyday inks
Mm-hmm.
tend to be fine, and so that's what I daily drive in my celluloid pens.
Yeah.
Also,
with a sack would be
with the sack, they're easy to clean out. With the Mont Blanc inks, I find. Yeah, I would trust Brian on this point. Brian Anderson is a great resource when it comes to vintage. And I would say that some of the recent tests for diamine show that maybe there are some that have quite a high pH.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who recently did pH testing, but it's somewhere. And
there was a whole chart, and I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a whole chart, and there's dots on a grid. But some of the diamine ones were really far out of what people would have thought they landed at. I don't reach for diamine inks very often. So honestly, I would use Brian as a resource. They're great.
Mhm. Yeah,
Both he and Lisa are a wealth of knowledge when it comes to pens.
Martiman and Parker. Parker's another one that you know, because they're
Oh yeah.
yeah. But yeah, Parker's another one. But yeah, I would just be very careful with older pens, and
It also
definitely do not put shimmer ink in an older vintage pen either.
no, I would say it also depends on if a pen is the sack's easily replaceable or not. Some of the Parker pens, the sack is easily replaceable. A sack in a vintage celluloid lever filler, on the other hand, those are not easy to replace.
No, give it to somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
As far as telling if a pen is celluloid or not, on the newer pens that are out there, it's easy to smell inside the cap. The vintage ones have lost that, so I'm not really sure. You'd have to like really.
You can oftentimes use a Google Lens.
That's a good idea. Yes.
Identify. I've definitely used it at pen shows before when I've seen a pen that hasn't had branding on it and I've wanted to know what the material is. Use Google Lens. Google Lens will tell you what you need to know.
Yeah, I
And
love the smell of celluloid. The camphor. I'm sitting there like with some of my newer celluloid Leonardos because they're freshly. He has a whole stack of them, and I'm like sitting there, like I'm writing, and I'm sniffing the cap. It's like, no, it's.
oh, celluloid lever fillers. So also I'd be very careful with the lever on them.
Yeah.
I've got an old celluloid lever filler on my desk from 1947. And yes, it works quite well, but you want to be careful because those aren't as easy to replace. The melting point of celluloid for those old lever fillers is pretty much the same as the shellac. And so you really don't want to have to replace the sack in them. From what I've been told, I had mine looked at about actually 2 years ago at the end of October. I had mine looked at, and I was told to pretty much baby it for as long as possible before needing to have work done.
There's a website called onepenshow.com that has fountain pen ink pH tests.
Yes.
So that's a good site. Onepenshow.com. Copy. I'll send it to you, Alex, so you can put in the.
Sounds good.
And let me get rid of that. Where am I? What is going on? This new phone sometimes drives me nuts. Getting used to all the new updates. Okay. Okay. So anyway, so do you prefer Alexandra or Alex?
Alexandra. I've gone by Alexandra since I was a very small child. I do like the added for those of us with a parasocial connection, which is never something I thought I'd have with people on the internet. But life's an interesting thing. Here are two different links, one that Claire found, one that I found. And hopefully that's helpful for vintage pens. Honestly, though, I tend to go by Alexandra.
That's good.
Yeah.
My daughter's name was Alexandra.
Yeah.
and she wanted to be called Al or Alex, right? But she always knew when Mommy was mad at her because it would just be, Alexandra, and she's like, "Okay, what did I do now?" Yeah, so you'll have to forgive me sometimes if I just say Alex, but
It's fine.
I usually call you Alexandra.
You do normally call me Alexandra. I
Yeah.
think I can count on one hand the number of times you've called me Alex.
Yeah, so Alexandra. But even, sometimes, Peter's Peter. And sometimes some people will call him Pete, and I'm like, who? Pete. Yeah. Pete. No, it's Peter. No.
That's fair.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, we all like people want to know with me. I have friends here in Florida that just call me Coco, so I'm fine with that. But it's Claire Coco. It's either Claire or Coco. I'll answer to anything, so I'm fine with that. And they're like, "What do you prefer?" I said, "It doesn't matter," and so I'm fine. But I always say Claire Coco. So I mean, you don't have to say Claire Coco, but people,
Well, the funny thing is, I frequently say Claire Coco because there are so many other Claires, not in my online group, but in other social groups,
yeah,
that when I'm talking about people in the pen world, especially to Mom, it's first and last name. Always.
And it's so funny because it's like I don't know, like I don't have another friend named Claire. It's like, yeah. And then, you'd be out and you hear, like I was in a store the other day trying on some jeans and stuff, and I heard, "Hey Claire, how you doing?" And I'm like, how do they know my name? I never told them. And it was somebody else coming in to the store that was named Claire. So I thought that was kind of funny. Yeah, it does differentiate me from other Claires. So yeah, Claire, but it has a nice ring to it. Everybody's like, "Oh, is that your stage name?" I said, "No, that's my real name." I don't. So everybody, but it's kind of fun. But anyway, as we're getting on to the noontime mark here, I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon, so we'll have to call this one. Not unless I have a few more minutes and stuff like that, but is anybody else have any other questions? Have you decided what you're using for your journal this year, for next year?
No.
I did in San Francisco. They had the Hobonichi exhibit there, so we
Okay.
could test out the new paper and the new what's coming out for 2026. And we put it through the various tests with different markers and fountain pen thicknesses, and so far so good. So I'm hoping that it is going to be better this year.
Yeah. No, I think I'm going to stick to the Planbury planner again, which is what I've now been using for 2 years. You can get them other places. I get mine on Amazon because they are easy to get in Canada on Amazon. And the paper is not advertised as being fountain pen friendly, but I find is fairly fountain pen friendly.
Mm-hmm.
The past 2 years I've gone with, I think, the extra large version, which is I believe 8.5 by 10. So it's big. I think I'm going with a smaller size this year because I'm just not filling it up. So I think I can downsize.
I like the A5 size. I mean, I have two of them. Like like this. Like I got the day, and I like the days free because then I don't feel guilty about. But I find this size is too small, and what's the one smaller than A5? Whatever that is, A6 or whatever. I find that to be too small, but I prefer the A5. I think for traveling and taking it with you, the A5 size, or sometimes I'm trying to get used to the travelers.
See, so that's my issue, is that it's the one I have this year is just too big to travel with. So it's my desk planner, but it's not the planner I travel with. And I need something smaller for this
Mhm.
year. I'm also debating going back to the Amanda Rachley bullet journal.
I don't think I've seen it or know what that.
So I have it on the floor. Because I have them all from last week's planner conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my current setup.
Okay, I did see that. That the big book.
It's big though, but they make, I believe, 2 smaller sizes than this.
Mm-hmm.
So I might continue with this, but size down.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello, Jeffrey. The other option, because I did the whole traveler's thing as my like everyday carry in my purse this year. I did the passport sized one. I didn't like it. So I know I'm not doing that for 2026. The other option is going back to the Amanda Rachley bullet journals, which I love. I've done them for, I think, 2022 and 2023. The issue I find with them is that by about, I don't know if other people are like this. When did I give up this year? Oh, did I not use this at all that year?
Is that a 5-year one?
No, it's a 1 year.
Oh, okay.
So I gave up on this planner. On January 14th.
Okay. Well, that's why I like the days free, so I don't feel guilty if I don't write every day. And I don't know why I feel guilty about that.
Yes. So that's the thing, is that I love Amanda's planners because they are planners and they are coloring books all in one. And her spreads and setups really work for me. And so I'm thinking like maybe I go back to this for this year.
Well, you still got all of the rest of October, November, and December.
But I don't, because these tend to sell out. So pre-orders for these are, I believe, the 10th of October. So this week, I have to make a decision on if I'm doing this or not.
Mm-hmm. What's the
Aurora Estelle
magnet planner?
Ooh, that sounds
what
cool.
that is.
I've
never have to research that one.
Never heard of that. So my thing is like, the Planbury is undated.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weekly spread, which I really like. And let's flip to a page that I haven't used, which is becoming harder because this actually ends in October. One side is like days of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side is like a to-do list and activities and the week's priorities and all that stuff. And I like this. But I also really liked this, and I don't know if I want to go back to this or not. So I need to make a decision at some point.
And then the other, like a lot, and I know a lot of people have like the Louise Carmen planners and stuff, but I don't know if it's worth all that money to get one.
Yeah, that's my thing, is that I don't know that it's worth all that money. And actually, apparently I did briefly go back to this planner in April. Because there are once again notes in April. It was a sporadic year, 2023, of journaling. Yeah, we had a sporadic year. So I don't have a plan yet. I keep saying I'm gonna figure it out. I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to figure it out soon. Other than the fact that I know I'm not doing Hobonichi and I know I'm not doing Travelers. That's all I figured out.
Yeah, see, I don't really like journal. I use the days free now for If on the bigger A5 days free,
Yeah.
and if I do, I use it for quotes and new pens,
Mhm.
and that makes me happy. So, you know, I
Like,
think it can be whatever you want it to be.
I would say the same thing. Like, I don't journal. This for me is these are to-do lists 95% of the time.
Hmm.
The one change I've made this year that I am continuing into next year, because I have really liked it, is for a while, video planning and like calendar for video production has always been on separate pages for me. So
Yeah.
this is September. In September, though, I decided to just color code stuff. And so instead of the blocks being full of information, they were just color coded. And then in my planner, I had the notes of what was each like bar of on here,
Hmm.
which is so much nicer because it means at a glance I can tell if I have a video coming out in the next couple days, which I always do. And then I just have to flip through my planner and see what's in production. I really like this.
Oh, that's good.
And so this will be continuing. This is the only thing I know that is continuing. We'll figure out the rest later.
Jeffrey said that the Aria Estelle is in Canada.
Okay. Let's look up these people more seriously then. I'm such a creature of habit when it comes to planners.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my thing. Like, I've used the Amanda Rachley bullet journal in one form or another since I was 15. So way before she was like sending them out, or way before she was creating her own books, I was using her system and stuff. And so I think it's highly likely that I just go back to what I love.
You have to do what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I full month calendars are great because sometimes, like we get so relied on our phones, but to have something physically written down at your desk in a like what you have the sheet, I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what I like about the sheet now is that it's just color coded. And so instead of having a billion little words scribbled on it at a glance, I know what every color is.
Mm-hmm.
Are they all Tomoe River planners from Aurora Estelle? Because if they are, I will not be getting one.
Not unless it's the older paper, not unless they've changed the paper again.
I see. I don't even like it enough that I'd get it with the old paper.
Yeah.
I just don't enjoy it.
Looking at I have I have in my desk in my room where I'm filming with you. I'm looking at my pen thing and I'm like, oh, I got to clean those pens out.
I see the Muji one as being an option.
Oh, I do love the onion skin.
Jeffrey's other suggestion.
Mm-hmm. I do like onion skin. And I like it because it crinkles. I love that crinkly sound. And the thing is, it doesn't leak to the other side. And so you can only use one side of it, but I kind of like it. I mean, I do use the onion skin paper journal, and I haven't tried. I think for non-river paper, Muji makes a similar layout.
Mm.
I haven't tried the Muji. Oh, wait a minute, the Muji, is that the journal, Jeffrey, that you got from Amazon? So, which, by the way, okay, I have a little thing here that I keep stuff in. Where is it? Which I got one of these that I haven't tried yet. And it comes with paper, just, it's already done, like, oh, this is the Motrin one. And
Okay.
so I don't know what the paper is in here, but Jeffrey uses this one and he says it is fountain pen friendly. So I haven't tried this one yet, but it comes all together already for you. How easy is that? You don't have to think about it. So I should try this one. So it's something else to play with. Yeah. So anyway, do you have any recommendations for onion skin notebooks? I use from the onion skin journal. They are from the company called the Onion Skin Journal. And I like theirs. I know that a friend of mine got something on Etsy and she likes it. She says it's just as good as the one I gave her from the Onion Skin Journal, but I don't know which company it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah. But either one. I know there's some other ones on Amazon that have onion skin, and my friend Suzette tried that one, and she didn't like it as much. So it just really depends on the paper.
I've still never tried onion skin.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. I have my book in the other room. It's out there. Other than that, I would go get it. But it is fun paper. And like I said, I just like the way, like when you're going through it and you're going through all the pages, it's that sound. It's kind of neat. But it writes well. Maybe I'll journal.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do something in that. That's a good idea. Who says, my friend Frank, he's funny. You know, Frank.
Yeah.
He always like, he'll look at me and he says, oh, I think that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. Or, and because we talk about different stuff, and then he'll look at Peter and it's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And we kind of go back and forth with things. He's a great guy. I love Frank. Yeah. So I'll be sorry to miss Frank at Empire. So anyway, but I'm going to, let's say goodbye to everybody. We'll figure out a date for November.
Yes.
We'll have to figure out a date in November. We'll chat about that. We have some time. Preferably before Thanksgiving weekend. I'm around, so.
I don't even know when American Thanksgiving is, Claire.
It is the weekend of, because it's like my birthday weekend. So my birthday's on the 29th, so it's the Thursday before, which I think it's the 27th this year.
Okay.
Yeah, the closest that I get to let's go to November. November 27th is Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do it before that weekend. Maybe we want to go back and we want to shoot for Fridays again.
Sure. We'll look at a calendar. We'll find something.
So like maybe the 14th or the 21st, something around there. So we'll check it out. Thank you for everybody who's left some comments, asked us some questions. It's always fun to chat with you all.
Mm-hmm.
And this was kind of fun, go back and forth about a lot of different things. But I think I like that format too, that we should, on Instagram, we can say, hey, if you got questions for us, please, give us your questions and we'll try our best to answer them.
Yeah.
So have a great time at Empire.
Thank you. Have a great time in Colorado.
Thank you. I am super excited about Colorado because, like I said, again, I've never been there. And I'm trying to decide if I'm taking my big girl camera out of, I haven't used it in a very long time. And so if I plan on using it, I better just get my, I better dust it off. And I'm thinking about it. But
I think you should. It's been a while.
It's been a long time since I think ever since I got more into the pens and stuff, I kind of retired that part of my life as in the photography world. I'm having so much more fun doing this, collecting pens, talking to people about pens, getting more excited about pens, inks, and papers. So anyway, but take care, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. And until the next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.